kind of sounded like it was garbage day for a second, like they dropped the dumpster or something. But then a second louder explosion happened.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the family.
The National Transportation Safety Board investigating a fatal crash in Wasilla tonight. They say it involved an experimental aircraft on its maiden voyage. Alaska State troopers have identified the man who died in this morning's plane crash as 71-year-old John Bergstead of Anchorage. He was the pilot of that experimental plane that resembles a Piper PA-12. Bergstead died when the aircraft crashed on East Beaver Avenue near North Moose Street. The plane crashed not long after taking off from the Anderson Lake Strip Airport and was reported to the NTSB at about 9:30 this morning. A witness on scene said he heard the crash and saw the plane on fire. We also asked the NTSB's Alaska Region Chief about the crash on scene.
That's going to be part of our investigation to see if we could piece together the sequence of events. Right now, very, very, very preliminary information. We don't know what led up to the accident at this point, but that's why we're here, and obviously to document the scene. We're going to remove this wreckage, get it to a secure place where we can look at it in a little bit more of a controlled environment.
Your dad was telling me that there's a landing strip pretty close by. Does that worry you, living that close to a landing strip and seeing something like this happen?
Well, I think there's a pretty rare occurrence, so it doesn't like frighten me. No, I wouldn't say so.
The NTSB is asking anyone who witnessed the crash to contact them. We have that contact information online at alaskasnewssource.com. A volunteer searcher found the body of a missing boater this morning in the Chilkat River that's near Haines. Troopers identified the man who died as 83-year-old Ronald Martin of Haines. ASTs say they got the report of a capsized boat on the Chilkat River at 6:36 last night. That's near Turtle Rock. One of the two men on that boat swam to shore and survived and was taken to Haines by friends on a boat. Wildlife troopers and volunteer searchers were in the Chilkat River when one of the volunteers found the body at about 7:30 this morning. Next of kin was on scene. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, that's known as NORAD, they've again detected and tracked two Russian military aircraft yesterday. They were flying in the Alaska Air Defense Identification Zone. The Russian craft remained in international airspace and didn't enter American or Canadian airspace. Something similar happened Thursday when two Russian military aircraft were detected near Alaska. Senator Dan Sullivan saying yesterday that an expansion of military presence throughout the state is an appropriate response. Well, NORAD said their initial announcement that Russian activity in the Alaska Defense Identification Zone, known as IDIZ, is a regular occurrence and is not considered a threat. Senator Sullivan says there are limits to how much that statement he agrees with, referencing past interceptions of Russian and Chinese joint task forces near Alaska's borders. Sullivan explained how the timing of these incidents are, in his view, not coincidental and deserve an appropriate military response to deter them from becoming frequent occurrences. We have more from Sullivan on this online right now at alaskasnewssource.com. There's a possibility for heavy rain, flooding, high winds on their way to South Central. Meteorologist Robert Forget joins us now with some of these answers, as well as a first look at our forecast. Robert?
Well, Joe, all that is here, and we should start to see that dissipate. Maybe even some sunshine, I expect, as we get into the afternoon hours. So things will dry out a little bit. Boy, it's been a wet one today.
We're going to hit that one last sunny day. I can feel it. All right, thanks, Robert. Civil rights leaders from 3 states. They were at the University of Alaska Anchorage today talking about community struggles, ideas, and solutions. Olivia Nordyke was at the NAACP's annual state convention. The theme this year, Fighting Forward. Olivia?
Joe, this is a yearly conference held by the Tri-State Assembly of the NAACP, but this year...
Breaking a sweat, building camaraderie, and honoring the fallen is what service members and first responders were busy doing this morning on Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. Georgina Fernandez was at JBEAR's first 9/11 memorial stair climb to remember those who lost their lives on September 11th, 2001.
Wearing roughly 60 pounds worth of gear, First responders and service members here on J-Bear are climbing 110 flights of stairs as you remember the lives lost in 9/11.
Lots of great football. I was pleasantly distracted by seeing the word chirp in the teleprompter. So I was kind of hoping you would have sounded that out or acted that out.
I mean,
Chirp.
Let me see. Chirp. Something like that. Is that what you're after?
Perfect, perfect. All right, so Mr. M&M Man, we've got rain in the forecast, wind, anything dangerous on the way?
No. It's pretty much passed for us, which is good. And we're going to go ahead and look at things clearing out tomorrow morning. AM showers, then PM clearing. We'll also see some scattered showers on Monday and some sun and clouds before we get the next brunt of a front moving through and producing some rain on Wednesday. So quick break, and oh yeah, that's not right. It's not going to be 656. It's supposed to be 56.
I mean,
hot today,
656 degrees, that would be bad
I
if,
don't
like,
normally do that.
if you had, like, a
Too many-
giant
too many M&Ms.
spaceship or something.
Too many
We'll
M&Ms.
go with 656 degrees.